Today we're going to learn algebra. So we're going to start off with part 1. What is a solution? So we're going to be throwing around this word solution a lot, and the question is going to be, what is a solution? So let's say, for example, I have the equation x plus 3 equals 8. And I'm going to say that the possible solutions are, I'll make it multiple choice. So possible solutions are A, 4, B, 5, C, -5, D, -11. So we have 4 possible solutions here. Often there's more than one solution. So what does the solution mean? A solution means that if we make the variable equal to that number, it's going to make the left side equal to the right side. So for example, let's say I want to check if 4 is a solution. So we had x plus 3 equals 8. And what we're going to do is, instead of writing x, if I wanted to check if 4 is a solution. So instead of writing x, I'm going to write 4. 4 plus 3 equals 8. 4 plus 3 is 7. And is 7 equal to 8? The answer is it's not, which means that 4 is in fact not a solution. Right? However, if we did x plus 3 equals 8, and we put in, let's try 5 here. So we try 5 as a solution. So 5 plus 3 equals 8. 8 equals 8. And that does work. So if we put 5 in, it does make the equation true. So 5 is the solution. So that is the answer. Another way of showing this is kind of like a they call it a left side analysis type thing. So what we could do is, we have our left side, so the left side of the equation. So this is the left side, and this is the right side. So the left side and the right side. The left side is x plus 3, and the right side is 8. And we essentially do the same thing here. So if we want to check if 4 is a solution, we put 4 in. Equals 4 plus 3 equals 7, and 8 equals 8. And the left side is not equal to the right side, so therefore 4 is not a solution. Conversely, if we wanted to check 5 in the other equation, so the left side is equal to x plus 3, the right side is equal to 8. And we're going to check x equals 5 now. So here we were checking x equals 4. Now we're checking x equals 5. So 5 plus 3, which is equal to 8. 8 equals 8. So the left side equals to the right side. Therefore, x equals 5 is the solution. Now, doing algebra on something like x plus 3 equals 8 is pretty easy. In fact, you probably don't even need algebra to do it. What you could always have is, conversely, you could have something like, here we'll call this example 2. So 2x minus 7 equals 3, 4x minus 1 minus 34. So now it's a little less obvious what the answer is. And I'll give you a multiple choice again. So possible solutions, we'll say, are 2, -6, 3, and -8. So pause the video, see if you can figure out which is the solution. Let's check it. So we're going to try with x equals 2 first, because why not? So the left side is equal to 2x minus 7. The right side equals 3 times 4x minus 1 minus 34. So we're trying x equals 2, right? So it's going to be, we're going to sub in the 2 minus 7. Over here we're going to sub in, do you notice whenever I sub in, I always sub it in a bracket. It's not so important in this unit, but we're going to be doing a unit shortly called linear systems, and it's going to matter for that. So here, 2 times 2 is 4 minus 7, which is negative 3. This is going to be 3, following bed mass, we have to do 8 minus 1 is 7, minus 34, which is 21 minus 34, which is negative 13. These are not equal. Minus 3 is not equal to minus 13. All right, so left side is not equal to right side, so it's therefore x equals 2 is not a solution, right? And now what we could do is we could try the other ones as well. And so if we put in 3, we might get, should we try 3 or negative 6? We'll try 3. And we are off the paper, are we not? We're going to try x equals 3. So left side equals 2x minus 7, which is equal to 2 times 3 minus 7, which is equal to 6 minus 7, which is equal to negative 1. I'm going a little faster on this one. This one is going to be 3 times 4 times 3 minus 1 minus 34, which is 3 times 11 minus 34, which is 33 minus 34, which is negative 1. So in this case, the left side is equal to the right side. So therefore, x equals 3 is the solution to the equation. Okay. So, now, I'm not always going to give you multiple choice. In fact, you generally will never be given multiple choice. So the point of algebra is to figure out what the answer is. We want to figure out what is the solution to the equation. So with algebra, we're going to do something called one-step algebra right now. So there are essentially 2 rules. So rule 1, goal is to isolate the variable. So I'm going to show you what that means, but isolate means you want to get it alone on its side. And rule 2, we're going to use something called the balance method. And so what we do is anything we do to one side of equal sign we also do to the other side. We also do to the other side. So anything we do to one side, we also do it to the other side. And let's go through what that actually means. So, example 1. Let's say we have x plus 5 equals 8. So our goal is we want to make the variable alone. So we want the x to be alone. Now what I could do, don't write this down. So what I could do is I could, for example, add 3 to both sides. So I could say, okay, I'm going to add 3 to both sides. So x, let's not do 3. I'm going to add 4 to both sides. So I add 4 to this side, I add 4 to this side. So I followed the rule. Everything I did to one side, I also did to the other side. And now I have x plus 9 equals 12. And that's not very exciting because we didn't isolate the x, so that was pretty much a waste of time. Now what we could do instead, though, and this is where I'm going to do the right thing, and it happens to be the right thing just for this equation. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually subtract 5 from both sides. So what I did to one side, I did to the other side. The things in blue are what I did to both sides. Now x plus 5 minus 5 is, so 5 minus 5 is 0. So x minus, and you don't have to write this, I was just showing it, because x plus 0 is just x, and x equals 3. The x is alone, we've isolated it, and that means that this is the solution to the equation. So the solution to the equation x plus 5 equals 8 is x equals 13. Example 2. Let's say I have w minus 13 equals negative 6. Now what might be tempting to do, we'll do another one of those wrong ones off to the side. It might be tempting to subtract 13 from both sides. But minus 13 minus another 13 is actually negative 26. The w is not alone. We didn't isolate it. That doesn't work. So what we're actually going to do here, we generally do the opposite. So my opposite in this context, because opposite is not well defined in math, but in this context it means that minus becomes plus, plus becomes minus, and as we're going to see, multiplication becomes division, division becomes multiplication. So plus 13 plus 13. W minus 13 plus 13 becomes just w, and minus 6 plus 13 becomes 7. And that is the answer to that one. Example 3. So 5x equals 35. So what we do is we have to get, the x is now attached to the 5, and it's attached through a multiplication. And it turns out that the opposite of multiplication, in this situation at least, is division. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide both sides by 5. And I wrote division as a fraction. You could actually write it like a divided by 5, and that's okay as well. But for a variety of reasons, it's often more convenient to write it like this. So divide both sides by 5. Not one side, we did it to both sides. So just notice, even going back to the other thing, whenever we do something in blue, we do it to both sides. Blue and blue, blue and blue, blue and blue. So what we have here then is, what's 5 divided by 5? 5 divided by 5 is 1x, and 35 divided by 5 is 7. And 1 times x is, of course, just x. So x equals 7. Another way this is sometimes shown, how the 5x over 5 turns into just x, is we sometimes say that we're crossing out the 5's. And crossing out is really a fancy math way of saying that we recognize that 5 divided by 5 is 1, and it goes away. But if you have a number on the top and a number on the bottom, they could cross each other out. And example 4. We'll do w over 7 equals 2. And again, I'll do a wrong thing on the side here. So what some people like to do is they like to just put it over 7 over there, so it matches up. But that's wrong, because you'll notice that here we put a blue thing on both sides. There was a blue 5, blue 5. Here there's the blue 7 only on that one side. So this is wrong. And more important, it doesn't even get rid of that 7 either. So what we're going to actually do instead, so that's a division, and the opposite of a division is a multiplication. So we're going to multiply both sides by 7. And the way I do it is I kind of put the whole thing in brackets, put a 7, put the whole thing in brackets, 7. And then I didn't actually do an x for multiply, but I used the brackets to show that's multiplying. Kind of like over there, the 7's are going to cancel, and then we're left with w equals 2 times 7, which is 14. And essentially, those are the 4 critical steps of one-step algebra.